Hi, good afternoon. Today, I will tell you something very, very crucial, which is for women, especially at that time, when you are feeling so disheartened, you're feeling insulted. There is one statement that you tend to tell your husband, and that's the statement which then eventually leads to breakup. Okay. Now, I know as a woman, as a wife, you have so many times given so much into the relationship, but somewhere you tend to feel that you're not cared for, you're not loved enough. Maybe, you might also feel that you're not wanted. And you keep tolerating this situation until the time that day comes when you realize that no, you can't stand anymore, right? And in while you're arguing or in extreme rage, when you're fuming with anger, when you're so full till the brim that you it's just not possible to take whatever is coming anymore, there is this one statement you tend to tell your husband. You threaten him. You threaten him by saying that you will go to your parents' place. I was speaking with one lady quite some time back, and one day she got so angry that her children are preteens, 10 and 12, and one day she threatened her husband that she is going to leave. So she actually pulled out her suitcase and she started packing her bags. And when her husband saw that, he said that no need to do this, don't go to your parents' house. Whatever the issue is, let's sit down and sort it out. So she was, she stayed back and they sat down, they talked about it, they sorted out their matter. But after 3 months, the same situation happened. Something, went wrong, and she again, pulled out her suitcase. Again, the same thing was happening. And once again, her husband said, no need to leave. Let's see, sit down and we will sort it out. Second time also, she agreed. They did sort out the matters, and after 6 months this situation got repeated the third time. Now, third time when the situation was being repeated, her husband was simply watching when she was pulling out the suitcase and packing her clothes into it. So he was watching, and she was thinking that, like previous two times, he is going to stop her from going. He kept watching. She finished packing, and she was quite surprised that, this man is just watching and he's not saying anything. She thought, maybe, when she steps out, he's going to say something, he's going to stop her. So she finally packed the suitcase and she started to move towards the door. And then also she realized that he was not saying anything. So she was kind of quite shocked and in two minds what to do. But then, what happens? The ego takes over, right? She decided that she is going to step out because she can't stand those things anymore. The moment she stepped out, she put the first step out of the door and she looked back at him. He said that, all right, if this is your final decision, so be it. And remember that from now on, the doors will always be closed for you. As far as children are concerned, I am going to take care of both the kids. You want to meet children, you're free to meet children, not in this house. I will get children to wherever you want me to come. Not your house, but not your parents' house. In the mall, in the park, wherever it is, but you will not step into this house ever again. When you threaten your husband that you are going to leave, you are under stress, right? Your husband also goes under stress. Now, under stress, biologically what happens is our brain releases the stress beating chemicals, oxytocin. Okay. Now, in women, the oxytocin, oxytocin helps in dealing with the stress. So when that is, that's a primary chemical that gets released. There are many more. When a woman is under a lot of stress, there is lot of oxytocin that her brain releases in huge quantities. So therefore, it becomes relatively simple for women to deal with her stress. So you will realize that today you're stressed, tomorrow you were stressed, tomorrow you are stressed. 3 4 days, gradually you tend to settle down. For, you might be trying a lot, but at the same time, biologically, chemically, your brain is helping you to deal with that stress. Now for the man also, the oxytocin gets released, but if the quantities of the oxytocin that is released is this much. So for instance, the woman's brain releases this much of oxytocin to deal with stress, a man's brain releases only this much. Okay. Now what is happening during stress? During stress, our body is undergoing a lot of changes because it is fighting the situation. Okay, so blood pressure is going up, sugar levels are going up, heart rate is going up. So there is lots that is happening inside the body because that's a fight response that body is giving you. When these oxytocin, the chemicals, are released, these help you to settle down in your body. By the way, this is called flooding. When under stress, your body is responding, in terms of whether blood pressure is increasing or cholesterol is increasing or sugar levels are increasing. That's called flooding, right? So then the body is flooded under stress, both for men and women. With the release of these chemicals, the flooding settles down as far as woman's body is concerned, right? It settles down much more quickly than the man's body, because man's body is releasing very less chemicals. He needs to take time off to settle down. So during that time, suppose you had a fight, you had an argument, you will see that after a certain point, either your husband is going to shout at you so that you shut up, okay, or he is going to withdraw himself completely, and that is because his body is undergoing flooding just as yours is, but yours is getting taken care of by the chemicals, the excess release of chemicals. His is not being taken care of. That he is to physically, mentally shut himself down from this situation, just be with his body, be with himself, and then the flooding stops. It takes a lot of time for him to do that. Now that's the time when he needs time for himself, when he needs physical space. He does not want to be around anybody. He might choose to watch TV, he might choose to go on WhatsApp, whatever he chooses to do. Point is, his body is not able to take flooding to that extent, so he needs that time off. When you threaten him that you are going to go to your parents' place, okay, he experiences that flooding again and again, again and again. So you've given this threat to him, and now he's under this constant, his subconscious mind is under that constant threat of you dropping that bomb where you're going to leave. Okay, you've said this the second time in some occasion, or you've said this the third time on some occasion, right? So each time you're saying it, you're actually increasing his flooding in his body. So there will come a time when he will ask you to leave, because he will realize that he can't take that kind of flooding anymore. So he will say that, okay, you leave, so that his body can settle down. So never say this statement. And many a times, I have had clients where women have left their husband, they've threatened him, left home for their parents' place, and now when they go to their parents' place, they expect their husband to message them, they expect their husband to call them, they expect their husband to come and pick them up and cajole them and take them back home. He will not do it. Whether days, weeks, months go by, if he's making an attempt, that's a half hearted attempt, or he's making an attempt because he really loves you. But then there is a fear that you're going to drop that threatening statement once again. If that fear is beyond what he can manage, what he can tolerate, then when you've gone to your parents' place, he is not going to call you or message you or ask you to come back, because he's scared of that flooding. He is scared of that situation where you are on the edge, wherein you can leave for your parents' place at any time, and you can be staying with him for as long as you want to. There is uncertainty. This uncertainty, as much as it causes stress in you, also causes stress in him, because the biological factors he cannot manage with that stress, and therefore he thinks, okay, you better leave. So if there are those situations where you really can't take it, okay, see, if you ask me, then I will say leaving with a threat will not help you. What actually is going to help you is your own healing. However, if you are still not on that journey to heal, then the best way is to take a break, not threatening him. Take a break. Tell him that you are going to your parents' place because you need a break. Now, he might ask, why do you need a break? What kind of break do you need? He will ask you this question. Don't, at that point in time, don't say, I need a break because you don't care. You are, only your mama's boy. You're not bothered about my needs, my desires, my wants. So your mother also, is always sitting on the top of my head. So I need a break from all this. If this is what you say, then he'll say, okay, then go. Right? You will, you will basically say this statement which I'm telling you. However, for you to say this, it is very important that you will need to keep your ego aside. It's very tough, but this is what you will need to do. You will need to tell him that you need to take a break because you need to have things, you know you have need to have the clarity of things in your head. I need some clarity in my head, or there is a lot of crap that has gone into my head, I just need to get rid of it. That is what you will say. And then, you can go and take a break of whatever days you're looking for. This is what you're going to do. So never ever threaten him saying that you will go to your parents' place. Not as a threat, but yes, you wish to go to your parents' place because you need a break, from a mental break. There has been too much of tension in your head, too much of stress in your head, and I really need to have all that sorted out in my head. Okay? It's a different matter. There are things that he also needs to do, not just you. I'm telling you your side. If and what your husband needs to do. So if you are a husband, somebody's husband watching this video, then what is it that you need to do at the minimum level, whether you get along with your wife or not? At the basic minimum level, you will be respecting her parents, irrespective of whatever fights and arguments you have with your wife. You will basically need to respect her parents no matter what. That's the minimum level that you will do. And remember that she has left her home and come to you. She might be facing some problems. Respect the fact that she might need those days, those times when she needs to go and, stay with her parents for some time. She needs to energize herself. She needs to refresh herself. She needs to sit down with herself. She needs to think about whatever is happening. So trust that she is going to go, not leaving you, but she's going to go just to refresh and start all over again. So respect her parents and respect her need to be with her parents for some time. That's, as a husband, that's the minimum role that you can play, right? And to all those women who are watching this, never ever give this threatening statement that I will go and I will leave and I will stay with my parents. Don't do that. Okay? And when you are confining yourself to taking a break, and husband is confining himself to respecting the fact that you need to be with your parents also, and he's respecting your parents also, then this flooding is going to reduce. The stress levels in the relationship is going to reduce, and very importantly, the trust will begin to consolidate, or if it is not there, it will begin to develop over time. All right. um, that is all what I wanted to share with you. And I want to tell you that on Friday, this is Wednesday today, on Friday, I will only and only be taking up questions. So if you have any questions, you can write to me personally, you can write in the comment box. Better still, come on the live show, write your questions here, let everybody also benefit from that. And I will be answering your questions here in live. So for Friday, it's only going to be your questions and my answers, right? So you have today, you have tomorrow, you have Friday till about 12 noon when you can post your questions, and I will be taking your questions in the live session, right? So that's it from me to you today, and I will see you tomorrow. Needless to say, keep practicing. Needless to say, write your questions. And yes, if you are looking for support to create or to live the kind of relationship that you desire, then you need to connect with us at the link which I have given below. All right. So you take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.